Following the death of a black 17-year-old in Florida, many people across the country are taking to the streets. More than 100 people recently marched through downtown Naperville wearing hoodies and holding signs in Trayvon Martin's honor. His death has ignited a racial debate, and NCTV 17's Michelle CORLESS takes a look at why.
A 17-year-old Florida boy walked through a gated community, was shot and killed by a neighborhood watch captain, outraging the country. A recent rally in Naperville called for justice for Trayvon Martin and for the arrest of George Zimmerman. Director of the Project on Race and Political Communication and North Central College professor Stephen Maynard Caliendo says this crime wasn't one of a kind.
It's not a new thing for somebody in a position of authority or quasi-authority to use aggressive force and deadly force against a person of color, a young person of color even. But the fact that the perpetrator has not even been arrested is part of the problem as well.
Part of the reason there hasn't been an arrest is Florida's stand your ground law. It allows residents to use deadly force in any situation if they feel endangered. Zimmerman says he felt threatened by Martin, a black teen wearing his hood up, and shot him.
As a police officer, I had to go to training which contained a shoot, don't shoot. And if you're going to allow these neighborhood watches to be in the neighborhoods, then they should have the same kind of training as a police officer.
But instead, the stereotype that frightened Zimmerman is now a symbol. At marches and even NBA photo shoots, Americans have been wearing their hoods up to signify that clothing choices and skin color shouldn't end a life.
People are feeling that this is not an isolated incident, that not only do these types of things happen, but that the idea of stereotyping folks is increasingly problematic.
People just don't treat people fair. Yeah, they look at the color of your skin and they think, well, there comes a hoodlum or there comes a burglar. You know, that's the first thing they think about us black people, and that's wrong.
And so many agree that across the country, the death of Martin is bringing racial concerns to the forefront of today's political world.
This is a pivotal moment in American history, and this is the time for our country to really stand up and do what's right.
Trayvon Martin is a symbol for what's been happening for a long time, and if we're going to have change, we're going to have meaningful change.
Whether or not those changes will happen are left to be seen. I'm Michelle CORLESS for Naperville News 17.
Martin's parents recently led a Reclaim the Dream rally in Florida in honor of their son and the 44th anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination.